Hi, this is Mindy from Time to Unwind, and this is going to be a little different than what I usually do because normally I don't do the cooking things. That's normally Tracy's thing, and she's got a whole bunch that just need edited. But I don't have a good setup in my kitchen. I don't have good light, I don't have a good place to put cameras, and so I don't normally do it, except I've done it once up at her house and I don't like editing her cameras. So I still just want to tell you about my first pickles. These are, oh, watch me lose my language. These are fermented pickles. These are not made with vinegar. And this is the first time I've ever tried it. We went to an Amish market a couple of weeks ago, and Tracy was looking for all sorts of things, and I picked up some stuff too, even though I knew I wasn't going to have much opportunity to use some of this stuff. But these pickling cucumbers, now I don't know what variety they were. I didn't ask. Um, and as a someone who used to have a huge garden back in the day, I know that there are lots of varieties of pickling cucumbers. I know that there are lots of variety of just about anything you can grow. And Tracy, you'd think she'd know. She has tons of different kinds of um, tomatoes, for instance, but she did not know that there were anything more than just the one she had kept her being mentioned when she was looking up fermented pickles, and that was Kirby. These could be Kirby. I don't know. They could be McPicks. I don't know. But they were pickling cucumbers, and I bought a bunch because they were cheap. And then I put them in on the back porch. I didn't even put them in the refrigerator in the meantime. So when I finally decided, well, Tracy and I'm not going to be able to get together with Tracy for a while, and I'm not going to be able to make these at her house so that it can be filmed. I just decided, well, I'm going to make them. And so I got this jar, and this is the jar I made them in. And Tracy is very scientific. I was driving her buggy because I'm not a scientific. I do read up on things if I've never done it before. But as in the case of my sourdough, now she couldn't make me follow her strict set of you do this, then you do this, then you do this, then you do this, then you do this, because I was able to tell her I had sourdough that I kept going for quite a while 20 years ago. And, that's not the way I did it. And I said, I learned from a history book that you boil potatoes and take that water and start your starter from that. And she couldn't figure out how to start it with boiled potatoes because that wasn't in any of the instructions she found when she was doing her research. And I told her, sometimes I just throw anything in to feed that thing. And so when she was looking up pickles, she was so worried that I wasn't going to do exactly what she thought, and that I wasn't going to use a kitchen scale to weigh out salt and things. I don't even own a kitchen scale. So I ended up realizing that if I didn't do the pickles soon, they weren't going to get done. And so I was going to go to her house and slice them with her mandolin. Couldn't even get that lined up. So instead, I just sliced them up, put them in water. I had run the water through a filter so that hopefully it was degassed enough. I think it must have been. And then I put in, she said, she thought I should use no more than 2 tablespoons of pickling salt per quart. And I saw something that was more on a sliding scale of 2.5 to 3 or 3.5, I forget. I used a little under 3. But you've got to remember, everybody's water and things are different, and somebody's you always pickle with this isn't going to take into consideration differences. So I go by gut feeling just a little bit. Maybe not everybody can do that, but I've always cooked that way. It drives people crazy. Well, anyway, so once you put them in, I put in the pickles, and then I put in a couple of cloves of garlic, and I put in a whole bunch of dill seed and some dill weed. And did I put anything else in? I put in about 6 bay leaves, because the tannin in bay leaves and grape leaves and horseradish and there are a few other things, a tea bag, would keep them crisper. So I still have the bay leaves in here, the garlic too. But what else? And then I poured the salt solution over top, and it came right up to about here. And I took I couldn't find anything that would fit in this jar to weight it down. Things would fit in the jar but wouldn't go clear down to weight it down. So I took the old method of filling a baggie with the salt brine and sticking that in there, and that pushed it down so everything was under brine. And see, did I do anything else? Nope. I sealed it up, and if you seal it, you know you gotta burp it at least every day. So I sealed it up, and I put it on my kitchen stove because I have a cold house, and I kept whining through Messenger to Tracy that I was afraid it wouldn't work because my house didn't get up to those ideal temperatures for fermenting that she was talking about, between 72 and 78, and I don't even get up to 70 anyway. And I thought we had our house nice and warm. But so anyway, day 1, nothing. But when I burped it, I felt a little air. Day 2, a little less air. Day 3, I saw some bubbles, and I got a little bit when I burped it. But I also baked something in the oven, which warmed this up a bit, because it was on top of the stove above the oven. And supposedly you're supposed to keep it at the same temperature, but cross your fingers and see if anything happens. And Tracy messaged me and said, you've got to taste it by day 3. You don't want to let it go too long, or it'll get soft and mushy like mine did. Because she did try it, and she followed her recipes exactly, and she weighed everything. But cucumbers do what they want to do to some extent, and hers did not stay crisp. Hers mushed up, and she threw them out without thinking that she could make relish out of them. But then the next day mine actually started to turn cloudy at about 4 days, and that was it. I tasted them. They crunched, and so I grabbed them and threw them in the refrigerator. It was like probably after 2 or 3 in the morning, because I'm usually up at that time of day, and they were wonderful, but I didn't want to take the time to strain them, and so they are good. I haven't let Tracy taste them yet because I haven't been able to get together with her. I do have a fork here. Excuse me, I have to reach This is not a good setup either, but it's better than anything I could do in the kitchen. And as you can see, I still have, well, you probably can't see it because I just lost it. Still have bay leaf there. And let's see if I can capture one of these. Plunk. Nope. If I ever get this one out, it would be great. I hope you can hear how crisp this is. The next day I did strain out most of my, oh, and I put a pinch of red pepper flakes in it too, just for the heck of it. And I strained all that stuff out, or at least almost all of it out, the next day. And then I took a jelly jar full to my mother, and she was rather impressed. So I was excited. You can see the dogs coming to visit me, but I just wanted to show somebody my first fermented dill pickles. I think I'll do this again. You can try this. There are lots and lots of videos on the internet. Some are excessively scientific. Some of them are moderately scientific. Some of them are crazy. I would go with something that explains a little bit. But basically what I did works. Usually test after about 3 days, but you should see the bubbles and you should see the cloudiness, because that means that good things are happening. And then once you've got the good things happening, then you stick them in the fridge and you eat them. You can make them really spicy, you can make them bland, you can make them, if you want them sweet, you have to pour off some of the brine and put any sugar solution you're going to do in just before you fridge them, because otherwise you'll have alcohol or something. Don't want to do that. But this is good, and you want to try it, and I think you'll enjoy it. So, happy pickling.